Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and no guests. Do you feel that your schedules are way too full? Or maybe you own too much stuff? Or maybe, like me, you're considering your new life and your heart cannot decide what to keep and what to let go. Well, I'm a scientist, a researcher, and a chronic procrastinator. This is why instead of launching on the task of decluttering, which I should have done probably, I decided to find out what the science says about it and what other people do. I read several academic papers, I bought a few self-help books, and I spent way too many hours surfing the internet. I found three approaches which sounded amicable to me. I'm going to share them with you. I like them because they're specific enough so I can start on the process, and they're general enough so I can tweak them to what I need in particular. The first approach, and I indicated them as stop non-consumption, sounded quite counterintuitive to me because I thought that I have so much stuff because I am over-consuming, not non-consuming. But it turns out, and it was found by scientists, that we tend not to use things, stuff, which we didn't use to begin with. And the longer we didn't touch it, the more valuable it is for us. It is less likely we will use it. The experiment which was provided to confirm this conclusion sounded like this. And imagine that you're going to attend a lecture which is interesting for you. And you're given a choice. You can use a new notebook or a scrap paper. About half of participants have chosen to save the notebook and use the scrap paper first time around. The second round of the experiment was exactly the same, but the stake was higher. Now the lecture was not only just interesting, but very important for each of the participants, maybe for their personal development or for their profession. And still, the same people who saved the notebook to begin with, then they decided to save it again and use the scrap paper. Well, the conclusion the scientists had was what I told you, that the longer we don't use something or haven't been using something, we decided not to use it in the moment, the less likely we will use it in future because it has higher value for us. At first, I didn't buy it because I thought that maybe these people just wanted to save the environment, right? But I looked around me in my house and I saw that I actually use maybe 80% of what I have, what I possess. And it's not only about notebooks, because actually I have two. I bought in Marshall very cheap many years ago, still not open. But it's also true about clothes, about wine, about everything we buy. So what I decided is that I'm going to remove from the house everything I'm not using, either by trashing it or giving as a gift to someone who can use it. And I will never bring anything into the house which I'm not going to use now or soon. The second approach is about dropping second priorities. And again, it may be sounding a little bit counterintuitive. What are second priorities? And here's the exercise, and I suggest you try it sometime when you have a moment, because it does take time, but it's a lot of fun. I was asked to write down 25 of my priorities. 25, which means I was able to write almost everything. That's a lot. And then arrange them, starting with the highest priority and going down. Then choose the first 5. and drop everything else. And I'm telling you, it was harsh. It was very harsh. I actually had to drop exercise because it was number 6. But my first priority is spend more time with friends, family, and the living creatures I'm responsible for. So I think I can exercise with them. But nevertheless, I have 5 priorities, and I'm not going to put on my schedule anything which is not these 5 until I'm satisfied that I met my goals in these 5 priorities. I always will keep. I will keep my friends and family number 1 always. This is my second approach, dropping the second priorities. And finally, number 3. And this is again, those of you who are now at home, I suggest we do it now, because you will only need 30 seconds. Look around you and imagine that you need to evacuate right now, and you only have 30 seconds to decide what you will say. Unfortunately, I had a chance to play this game for real 2 years ago. We were given time to evacuate. It wasn't 30 seconds, but it was still a limited time. And I remember standing in the middle of the living room, looking around, completely frozen. I wasn't ready. And I had 2 revelations. The first one was that I want to say, the only thing, if I can say think about it, are the people I live with and the soul creatures I'm responsible for. This is my first and only priority in terms of saving, if I have 30 seconds. But if I have 30 minutes, I should do better. And I didn't. I was not ready, as I said. I had too much trash masking my treasures. So I still have a lot of work to do to free the space, the room, and time, and room in my heart. And I invite you to join me in this journey. Are you ready? Mr. Toastmaster,